So what do you do before Endwalker comes out? Or how do you be prepared for the expansion when it finally drops? Hey guys, I'm Daniel. Thanks so much and welcome to Dragonmore Gaming. And this will be the 10 to 11 tips, tricks, tools, and tactics that you guys can use to make sure that you're fully prepared for Endwalker when it comes out. And for those of you that are looking to change into a bunny boy come Endwalker, make sure to stay tuned to the end of the video to check a bonus tip on how you can be one of the first. And with that, let's get into the tips. So first and foremost is story. Now story, we're talking about the main scenario quest, so you'll want to be completely done with all, even the post Shadowbringers quest line. You'll know that you're up there, you know that you're complete. If you have main scenario quest to be continued, that means that you are ready for Endwalker, so you won't be able to go to the moon unless you have all your main scenario quests completed. So that should be your top priority, is making sure that you're fully caught up with the story in the main scenario quest. Additionally, along story, we've also heard from the head writer of Shadowbringers, Natsuko Ishikawa, that if you want to make sure that you're prepared for Endwalker, you should go back and do the optional stuff if you haven't done already. The Coil of Bahamut, that raid, from ARR, as well as the Omega raid, from Stormblood. So these are the two raids that'll have a lot of story that'll impact, the story as far as giving more context when we go to the moon, and characters involved in that. Number 2 is the unsynced content. Now we're talking about the Extreme Trials, ARR, Heavensward, Stormblood to get your mounts, right? Your horses, your birds, your doggos. So if you want to be able to get do the undersynced content, or the undersized content, the unsynced, you want to make sure to do that before Endwalker, because we're not 100% sure how it's going to work. Now this one, they've shown in the live letter that just came out, live letter 66, so when using the undersized party option, there's a new enhanced echo effect. So it says here that it's going to be in line with previous patches, meaning that your relative strength should be the same or similar, but so this is a change from their previous thing that they said where it's going to be undersized or unsynced content. You're going to have that stat squish, so it might be harder. I think some of the feedback was that, hey, we don't like that, and maybe this is something that they're trying to do to kind of help bring that back to balance so that you're relatively the same amount of power that you would be now. But we're not really sure exactly how this is going to work or if it would function even correctly. So a recommendation would be to go ahead and do the unsynced content now while you're as powerful as you're going to be. Doing your level 80 stuff now and unsyncing that other content. Alright, number 3 is leveling. Now, for leveling, I mean being prepared to level. So you want to make sure you have all the XP bonuses you can get. So if you pre-ordered Endwalker already, you should have the Menfina's earring, and this is the accessory, the earring that'll give you 30% more XP when level 80 or below. Keep in mind that it says when you're 80 and below, meaning that while you're 80, this is still active. So this will actually give you 30% from getting from 80 to 81 if you are, maxed on all your classes even right now. And additionally, this will be especially helpful if you're leveling Reaper or Sage, because those will start at 70. Additionally, make sure you have food, and you can get the cheapest food in the world. You can just get boiled eggs. All the food does exactly the same in terms of XP bonus. So if all you're looking for food is just something cheap to just constantly have going for XP bonus, just make sure you're always getting your 3% and just get you some boiled eggs. You can also be ahead of the game leveling if you do your squadron missions. Now, going in your squadron, specifically infiltrate and rescue, because you want these squadron battle manuals. These give an additional 15% bonus XP for 2 hours. So make sure you level up your squads so that you can do especially this one, so you can get as much XP as you can. And number 4 is gear. Now, gear, we mean so both being prepared for Endwalker by just having the best gear possible, but also having the right gear that you're prepared for when the new classes drop, right? The Reaper and the Sage come out. So remember, these classes start at level 70. So even if you're already 80 and you're ready to go, you need to make sure you have a level 70 gear set ready to go. So here I am in Kugane, right next to the main Aetheryte, and you want to talk to this Rowena representative who can sell you the Poetic Gear for level 70. You can also do this in Rogger's Reach, but I find Kugane just really close and easy. So you want, melee DPS Dragoon, because it does share with the Dragoon, the Reaper does, and the Scavian gear is the highest that you can buy with Poetics. So make sure to just buy, one of everything so that you're fully set up and geared to go, and the ring you'll actually be able to buy 2 now. So that way you can have a full set of 70 gear ready for the Reaper as soon as it comes out. Additionally, you can also get the healing gear from the same vendor if you go under the tab for healer. And again, Scavian gear is going to be, again, the highest you can buy with Poetics here too. And this way you can buy all the gear for the 70s. You can see I've already started my... Now, remember, you don't need a belt, because belts are going away, so do not buy the belt. But everything else, make sure to buy, and even the rings, 2 of, just to make sure that you're ready for when the Sage and the Reaper drop in Endwalker. Additionally, you can buy gear off the market board. So if you need to be prepared for Shadowbringers and you don't have enough Poetics, you're not doing really the content that gets you Poetic, you can certainly go to the market board and buy it. So again, the Exarch gear is might be what you want for the Reaper and the Sage. Going, when you get to 80, but if you want level 70 off the market board, you'll have to scroll down. I think the highest here is 385. Yeah, that's still level 70. Anything higher than that will be too high level. So you could start. Now they do start you with some basic gear, for these new classes. So this might not be as big of a deal. But if you want to make sure that you're fully decked out, I would definitely check out the Scavian gear with Poetics. But then once you get to 80, you could have a full set of Exarch ready to go. Number 5 is doing the Bozja area. Now this is where you can do your, Shadowbringers relics that I have here, and this zone especially is really helpful for 2 things. So not only the relic that'll really help carry you through, at least half the levels in Endwalker, but also just for the zone itself. This is also kind of an XP bonus area, right? You can level actually from 70 to 80 in Bozja. So again, as soon as you get your Reaper and your Sage, you can actually come into Bozja, and it'll actually be some of the fastest leveling, getting you from 70 to 80. So don't forget to do Bozja, not only for the relic, but just to make sure that you're prepared and ready to do leveling. Number 6, make sure to do the Final Fantasy 15 event for the cool Glamour. You also get the car, the regalia for 200,000 MGP. So that's going on right now at the time of recording, ending October 18th. So make sure to do the Final Fantasy 15 Crossover Event before that one goes away. So something definitely to do before Endwalker. Number 7, be sure to check out Final Fantasy 4. So we're going to the moon in Endwalker, and this particular title is all about the moon. It's all about, I won't spoil too much of it, but you definitely go to the moon. This is the Final Fantasy where it's a big plot point to go to the moon. So make sure to definitely check out this title. You can also find it, you can actually find it on, whether it's like 3DS if you have, they have a remake for mobile, for iOS and Android, as well as a Steam release that just recently came out, the Pixel Remaster. So definitely check that out if you have Steam. And you can also find out where the lunar whale that came out recently here in Final Fantasy 14. Now you know where that comes from, FF4, and so be sure to check it out. And so there's going to be a lot more references, I believe, to Final Fantasy 4 when we get to the moon. So you'll get a lot more enjoyment, I think, out of it. I know I will, from having that knowledge and having played Final Fantasy 4 before Endwalker comes out. Next is Glamours, the true endgame of Final Fantasy 14, really. And this is just really taking the time to just making yourself look cool, like making yourself look good. I've done quite a few different Glamours over time, just to make things look fun. Maybe a little cosplay. I mean, you can do whatever you want. So super fun to just do these little things. And then sometimes you can just hang out with your friends, show off your sweet get-ups, and maybe play them a little song or something. Next is the Hildebrand Quest. Now, the Hildebrand Quest, if you haven't played, is an optional quest line of just quite silliness, really, but is super fun, starring the Inspector Hildebrand. Now, Hildebrand is quite the character. So you can imagine him kind of like Inspector Clouseau from Pink Panther, if you've seen that. It's just kind of over-the-top silliness. But it is super loads of fun, and if you really enjoy the Hildebrand Quest as much as I do, we'll be fast friends, because it is just so over the top. Just the humor, just the silliness about it is too much fun. So if you have a chance, definitely do this Hildebrand Quest line, and because there's actually going to be more of it coming here in Endwalker. And I won't spoil anything as far as how crazy it gets and what all happens, but it is such a fun quest line I look forward to every time when they come out with more. So definitely check out the Hildebrand Quest line before Endwalker. And my 10th tip is something that's going to help you guys out, right before Endwalker comes out, and that's make sure not to log out in a really crowded place. You can see the sea of people here in something popular like Limsa, or really any of the capital cities, even in Boja or Gangos, rather, like right before that comes out. I think that's going to be a good leveling spot. So any of these popular places, try not to log out here before Endwalker comes out. Go to some just kind of far away, distant, just off the beaten path kind of area or zone. That way that when you log in, the servers will have less of a hard time trying to get you in. There's, in previous expansions, anytime where people have tried to log in these major cities, it's always taken either a long time or crashed their game, crashed their client, or even crashed their servers with so many people trying to get in at the same time. So if you can, try not to be in these cities when you log out for the final time before Endwalker comes out. That'll just help you out as far as getting in the game, actually getting in the game and being able to play Endwalker on the first day it comes out. And as a bonus tip for the bunny boys, so if you're looking to change into a Viera male as soon as Endwalker comes out, you got to remember the rules around Fantasia. And a little bonus tip for you guys is that if you have the Fantasia, make sure to use it before you log out. Now, this is something that you have to do. When you use it, it will log you out and then have to log back into the character creation screen as part of that process. Now, if you do it right before you log out, before the server goes down or before you start playing Endwalker when it finally comes out, the fact that you've already used it means that when you log in, it'll already put you at the screen so that you can switch to the Viera male. Now, this helps bypass, because as soon as Endwalker comes out, you guys know it'll be a 20,000 person queue or something ridiculous like we've seen before. And to avoid going through that twice, because Fantasia will log you out to change your character. So go ahead and save yourself the time, and you only have to log into the crazy screen, the crazy queue one time. So use the Fantasia before you log out, right before Endwalker comes out. And then as a side note, just to remind for anybody that hasn't used the Fantasia, you do have to be without gear, meaning that you do have to be basically naked except for your weapon. This is something that the Fantasia system forces you to do. You can't have any gear save for your weapon in your slots, and then you'll be able to actually use the Fantasia and then change your character. So I hope you found value in those tips. I just want you guys to be prepared for Endwalker. So if you have any comments, any questions, definitely leave me a comment down below. I want to try to get you guys all the information you need to make sure that you kick ass when Endwalker comes out. So guys, if you found value in the video, also make sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions, especially around the Final Fantasy 15 event, check out the video over here. And if you don't have any questions about that, then check out the video over here that YouTube picked out for you. So guys, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.